Hello and welcome to another Strange Blue Project 52 live interview. So this time we are here with Jennifer Krieger, who is an apprentice software developer. And she is coming here to talk about a little bit her experience with this. How are you doing?
I am ecstatic right now. I've had the best weekends in as long as I can remember. How exciting it is here.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. It's very good.
And thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. How was your conference so far?
The conference exceeded my expectations beyond what I could have imagined. You know, I expected to come here and just soak up what everyone else is doing, and instead I talked to people from all over the world. I got to play board games with people from all over the world, and I met people who are doing things that have inspired me beyond what I anticipated. I don't know, I expected to be nervous the whole time, and instead I felt welcomed and able to participate, and that's not what I was expecting. It's so much more welcoming.
That's one of the best compliments I've heard about the conference so far. So I hope Alex is listening to this. Is going to get your feedback on this. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, actually, so I wanted to major in computer science back in the 90s. I started making websites. I taught myself HTML when I was a teenager. I started tinkering around, loved being creative. And I just fell out of it when I went to school, and I felt unwelcome. Everywhere else on campus, I had people to talk to. I was organizing meetings. I felt like I was involved. And in the computer science department, I felt alone. I didn't have anyone to speak to. I didn't have anyone I felt comfortable asking questions of. And it felt like, how can I ever work in this industry if I can't talk to a single person in my cohort? And I'm used to being surrounded by people who are interested in this. So I should be able to talk to them. But there was nothing. So I quit until this year when I found out about JUXT.
Do you do other jobs?
Oh yeah, I've nannied. I do transcription. I've done a lot of things. I was a solo parent for the last 14 years, and so I built my whole life around my daughter.
And then you found Launch Code?
Yes.
Or Launch Code found you? How did it work?
When the pandemic hit, I suddenly had lots of time on my hands to focus on myself. And I decided I could do the things that I wanted to do a long time ago. And I was looking for options, and I found Launch Code. And I applied. And then I refreshed my email about 1,000 times a day for the next 3 weeks until I found out that I was accepted.
What is Launch Code?
Launch Code is a local nonprofit organization that helps break down barriers to tech jobs, specifically software development and data engineering. There are multiple programs. I'm in LC 101, which is Launch Code 101, where they teach us, you start with JavaScript and move on to Java, and then they teach you how to wrap all of that up into your final projects, and then they offer job placement when it's over.
Okay. So how long have you been doing this? Well,
I started in May, and the base program that I'm in ends in November, and that's when I began the program called Liftoff, where they actually start training us for jobs, not just... Right now they're throwing crumbs at us. It feels like when people talk about the fire hose, it feels like a fire hose of crumbs. So they're like, look at all these interesting things that you could potentially learn about. But we don't really have enough time to get into it because we've got to learn all of these other things too. So I've been taking all of these crumbs and learning things on my own and just getting more and more excited.
So now that you're being back into programming and learning programming, what do you think you want to do after graduating?
I think I want to do after. I'm nowhere near doing what I truly want to do. But right now, my goals are, I would like to go back into the program that I'm in and become a TA. I want to continue learning the base, JavaScript and Java, and help other people get in while I learn it a little more. And I came here just to figure out what was the potential, not even what I'm going to do anytime. The reality is that I get to do really boring stuff for a few years, so it's hard to dream about anything that's exciting. The most exciting things for me right now is there's a nonprofit in my neighborhood called Pianos for People, and I'm hoping to do something for them.
If I understand correctly, launch code is in Louis, right? When you are from St. Louis.
Yes, launch codes.
Are there other locations?
I do know there's a Philadelphia location. That's the St. Louis location is the main location. This is the headquarters here.
Okay, so maybe one could go on the website and see where branches are if they want to join the same program that you're mentioning now.
Yes, it's launchcode.org.
Okay. How many hours are you busy during the day for the courses? And
We meet 2 nights a week for a few hours a week. And then there are lots of projects that we do. We do a lot of it on our own. So we actually meet together. And then starting this week, I'll be meeting up with my cohort every week. I'm not sure how many hours we'll meet just on our own. This week decided to start meeting up.
it's up to you to, for example, like to join with other students and maybe work together and deciding which way to organize the work, or if you want to collaborate, is that up to you?
Yeah, outside of the studios and the classrooms that we have to take the initiative and meet up with each
So
other.
you've been doing, you said JavaScript, Java, anything else? So
Yes, we started with JavaScript, and
Yeah.
so they slowly moved us through JavaScript. We ended with a little bit of Angular, like using JavaScript and Angular.
Yeah.
And we just started Java a few weeks ago.
Okay. So how are you finding these languages compared to maybe you still remember what you did at the 90s? It was mostly HTML, you said, so it might be different.
Oh yeah, it's very different. I felt like it helped me with the JavaScript though. I felt very much at home because it was tied, our projects were tied HTML and CSS, which I was already a little familiar with. And then JavaScript is so exciting to me. I absolutely love it. I felt creative. I got to feel like I could solve problems and make art at the same time. That was definitely fun. With Java, we haven't gotten into any projects yet where I feel like I could do anything on my own. So I don't even know what's possible yet.
Okay. Yeah, true. I was asking the question, what do you want to do next? But I understand that might not be an easy question to
No,
answer.
that's why I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. So based on what you've seen around, you have something that is attracting you.
Oh, the closure people, I've been surrounded. About 5 minutes in, I ran into Jordan, and she's lovely. Like that was amazing. And so I hear about closure, and then every single day, I end up at tables full of enthusiastic closure people, just the happiest developers I've run
that kind of
into.
confirm an idea, like a bias that might be at the conference toward Algeria, right? There's in sponsors and people attending, but what can you do? Like Alex Miller, the organizer of the conference, is a core committer.
Yeah.
Closure works for closure, actually. So there's a little bit of that, and it's unavoidable. Although the conference was definitely like a polyglot conference, and you can hear about any sort of language, any sort of framework, any sort of different ideas. And it was always like this since the beginning, so I was never biased. It's just the way the social relationships are working here. They are like maybe accumulating a little bit more closure people than anything else. But as you're saying, this is a good sign, and they are very friendly, and so that's good. So maybe you might want to think to work in closure.
Oh, I've been in my hotel room looking into it because I was like, wow, this feels. I had to ask a friend though. I was like, why is everyone that talks to me involved in closure? And he did mention this is a closure guy. Like that may be it. But I'm like, no, they just seem so enthusiastic about it. I feel like everybody wants me to do closure.
Yeah. And also true that many companies that I know of working in closure, they have internal boot camps for people that are not necessarily familiar with it. And you might find yourself in one of these internal boot camps, which are much shorter. They are like
I did wonder what is the good path for learning closure. So that is something I'm looking into.
I guess if you have the basic programming skills, you can still, of course, we are more than welcome to try on your own and learn on your own. And there are many ways to be surrounded by people doing the same. At Meetup, there are. I'm not sure if in St. Louis you have a Closurian meetups, but if there is none, then, a wonderful chance for you to create one and attract 4 people and work with you, learn with you, and pretty sure we'll find some. St. Louis seems to be very vital. That seems likely. Okay, so is there anything else that maybe we didn't touch on that you want to?
Oh, no, not really. I'm not used to talking to people I've owned my own business for so long, and it's just had, like, business pours in so much that I never have to talk to anybody for business to happen. So I have to keep making myself uncomfortable. So thank you for helping me.
Congratulations then, because you're doing it okay.